What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Eric, and in today's video I'm going to show you guys how to install some test pipes on your 350Z, 370Z, G35 or G37. This process will be the same for all those vehicles. Might be a little bit different, but for the most part it will be similar. Now, I've seen a lot of videos out there showing you guys how to do this, but I haven't seen one good video showing you how to do it the fastest. Now I'm going to show you guys my process and the way I do it. Now some of you guys might do it a little bit different, but I feel like this is personally the fastest and easiest way to do it. Now, it's important to note that when you guys are installing test pipes, that you guys are doing it if you're going to be using this vehicle for off-road only. You're not supposed to remove your cats from your vehicle because it's against the law, so just keep that in mind. Now, before you guys install some test pipes on your car, you have to make sure that you get the correct test pipe for your vehicle. So these on the left side are for a 3.7 or G35HR or 350ZHR. You guys can see that the flange is different from this one right here. This is for the 350Zs, G35s that have a DE or uprev engine. So the flange is different. If you buy these to try to put them on an HR, they will not bolt up. Also, it's important to note that you will need gaskets to sandwich in between here, because if not, it's going to start leaking. So let's go ahead and get right into the video. So the vehicle that I'm working on today is my 2008 350Z HR. So I'm going to be using the HR test pipes. Now, this vehicle is completely stock, so it has the cats on it. So I figured it was going to be a good time for me to show you guys how I remove my cats and install test pipes. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little sound demonstration at the end of the video. So make sure you guys skip to the end if you guys are wanting to see that. I'm not going to have any footage of me driving the vehicles because I'm going to be swapping out the exhaust after I install these test pipes. Now, if you guys are going to be installing test pipes, keep in mind that you're going to probably get a check engine light if you don't have a O2 sensor bung extender. So make sure you guys also get some quality test pipes if you guys are going to be installing them. Also, you're going to have a lot more raspiness, a lot more drone, and it's just not going to be a fun time. So make sure you guys look into resonated test pipes or a way to muffle down all the exhaust noise that you're going to be introducing with these test pipes. Also, you're going to have a weird noise that all the vehicles are going to get. It's like a weird raspy sound. Kind of sounds like a heat shield is loose. So that's common with these. So I have seen some people try to remove these cats and installing the test pipes from the top. Now, sometimes that can work if you're having a difficult time from doing it on the bottom. But I recommend for you guys to do it from the bottom because it's easier. The only thing you want to make sure is that you get your vehicle up as high as you can without, being dangerous, of course. Gives you enough room to work underneath here. So in front of me, I have some of the tools that I use to remove the cats and installed the test pipes. So on the left hand side, I have an adjustable wrench. You can use an adjustable wrench to remove the O2 sensor, but preferably try to get an O2 socket. Sometimes this might be too big, so get a smaller one or the flatter ones that don't look like this one. I'll throw a picture up here so you guys can check them out. Two different sizes of 3/8 ratchet, a longer flex head and a 3/8 just a shorter 3/8. Two different 14 millimeters, deep socket 14 millimeter and a shorter 14 millimeter. Also have a 14 millimeter that's a swivel head. And I also have three different types of extensions. So there is a smaller one, a medium one, and a larger one. Go ahead and use some penetrating oil if you guys have a lot of rust in your area. Let them soak overnight before you try to attempt to do this. But I had good luck with this setup. Sometimes you can get a breaker bar or something bigger than this long flex head ratchet. But for the most part, this has done the trick for me. So we're underneath the vehicle, and what I'd like to first do is remove the O2 sensor. So go ahead and get your O2 sensor socket and remove that sensor off on both sides. So now that we got the O2 sensor broken loose on both sides, we're going to go ahead and remove this nut that holds the cat to this bracket. Do that on both sides as well. Once you do that, go ahead and spray some penetrating fluid on your bolts if you guys haven't done so already. Here in Arizona, we don't really have an issue with rust, so I am certain that I can remove these nuts and bolts without breaking them. But if that's not the case with you, you guys might want to do this the day before you guys try to remove these. So now that we have pretty much everything disconnected, I'm going to show you what the most difficult part about doing this job is. And that is to remove these 3 fasteners right here. So there is 2 nuts and 1 bolt that goes through the cat. It is extremely difficult to get this one off right here, especially on the driver's side. The steering column right here is in the way, so that is gonna be difficult to get off. So what you need to do, and what I find it easy to first do, is to remove the nuts first. So break those loose and then focus on the last bolt. I'm gonna show you guys my setup that I use. So this right here is one of the setups that I use to remove that top nut. So I have a slim 3/8 ratchet with a 14mm socket. As you can see, the socket is on the nut right there, and the ratchet is kind of making contact with the steering shaft. That's okay. You can break this nut this way. I've done it multiple times. If this doesn't work, what you can do is get an extension, go behind the steering column, and basically your ratchet is going to be on this side right here. You can go ahead and break it this way loose as well. This sometimes is a little bit more difficult than this method right here. Now, to remove this bottom nut right here, you can remove the ratchet from here, put an extension, a 3-inch extension, and the ratchet will be around right here, and then you can break this nut loose from the bottom. Now, to remove the third one, and what I find to be the easiest, is this guy right here. This is how you remove this other nut. So as you guys can see, I have a deep socket with a longer 3/8 ratchet, and I'm able to just get right on that nut. If I turn it here, I'm gonna be able to break it loose. Like I said, if these guys are really rusted in there, go ahead and put some penetrating fluid on them before you even start doing anything, because it's going to be very difficult to get them out. But doing this method works for me all the time. I've never had to remove them from the top. So I'm going to go ahead and get these guys off. I already have this one pretty much removed. So it's just a matter of removing these 3 guys out of the way. Alright guys, so after a few hours of battling with these stupid cats, I finally got them off. I was able to remove this one without breaking anything, but this one, it was coming out, but then all of a sudden it just snapped. So I think it was just putting too much pressure on it. It was almost all the way out, but that's something that you guys are going to encounter a lot. You're going to break these fasteners because they've been on there from the factory. So I did get both of them off from the bottom, so it is possible to do it from the bottom. I think it's easier, in my opinion. Some of you guys might not like it, but if you guys don't, at least you have videos to compare. So I'm gonna install these test pipes, non-resonated. So these are NVIDIA. Now I was checking the diameter on these, and these are actually a little bit smaller than these Berk ones that I have, and I really like the build quality on the Berk compared to the NVIDIA. I do like the fact that the bung is a lot fatter on the NVIDIA, but this is a lot more tingy than this. This is definitely more solid, and it feels heavier. So I'm liking the fact that this is heavier and it doesn't produce that metal pinging noise. So I'm gonna go ahead and install these on the 350Z. Something else that I wanted to point out was with these cats. So you guys can see that this original cat has a O-ring around it. It's a metal O-ring, and that basically replaces the old triangle gaskets that came on the 350Zs and G35s with the DE motor. Now, since they decided to change the gasket, you are going to have to purchase metal gaskets so that you guys can run test pipes. So it basically fits over like that. Of course, you're gonna not use this O-ring gasket right here. You're gonna only use this one, and I highly recommend for you guys to purchase them from Z1 Motorsports because they're all metallic and metal. There is some copper ones out there. There is some other ones that are a lot cheaper, but just invest in some good quality gaskets so that you don't have to do this job again. So we got the hardest part out of the way, and that's to remove the cats. Now, to install these test pipes is actually pretty easy. You're basically going to do the opposite of what we just did to remove the cats. So I did get new hardware so that I can install these test pipes on. So I have my hardware here, and as you guys can see, I already did one side. Like I said, this is extremely easy. All you got to do is basically fish the bolt through the header and fasten it on the other side with, you know, the test pipes. So we're gonna get these installed, and then we're gonna see how much different the exhaust sounds afterwards. Alright guys, so I have everything put back together. What I'm going to do now is turn on the vehicle, let it get to operating temperature, and then give it a few revs to see how much of a difference this modification made. Alright guys, so that's pretty much how you remove your cats and install test pipes on a 350Z, G35, G37, 370Z, basically all the VQs out there. It is very simple if you have the right tools. If you don't, it's going to be very hard and it's going to be difficult, you know, to get those bolts out. Also, keep in mind that I live in Phoenix, Arizona, so there is not a lot of rust here. So these bolts weren't too rusted on there. I was able to remove most of them without damaging them. If you guys live in the Rust Belt, don't even try doing this method because I guarantee you, you're not going to be able to do it. So if you live in a place where it's really rusty, try to remove them from the top of the engine. And like I said, there's plenty of videos showing you guys how to do that. But I haven't seen anybody really remove them from the bottom like how I did in today's video. This works for me. I've done it like this countless times. And I've had good luck with it. But then again, I don't have as much rust as you guys. And I live in a place where I really don't have that issue. Also keep in mind that, you know, the tools that I used might be different from what you have, so make sure you guys get the proper tools when you guys are going to remove your cats and install test pipes. Now, as far as the setup for this vehicle goes, it sounds pretty awesome. However, I am not going to keep this setup for long because I'm actually going to be installing a Nismo S-Tune exhaust with a resonated white pipe, so stay tuned for the next video. Now, if you guys did like what you saw in today's video and you found it entertaining and useful, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. Consider subscribing for more videos like this, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace out.